Hi, my name is Qays Nsanja. I'm the director of the men's mental health documentary for Mind Over Matter. Basically, what we've been trying to do with our documentary is kind of shine a light on men's mental health issues. So during the time before this whole virus crisis happened, like me and some others were going around filming early in the morning from 6 a.m. just around London, like even around our uni, the University of the Arts London. We interviewed different young men from different backgrounds to talk about their own mental health as young men, how they overcome it, their experiences, and we asked some really deep questions. So here we have today is Aaron, who one of the people who I interviewed and had the pleasure to talk to and his experiences. So I'll let him explain who he is and what he does.
Hello, yes, my name is Aaron Kelly and I am an actor / creative artist.
Nice. Yeah, that's great, definitely. Yeah, Aaron was just telling me when we were doing the interviews a while back about how his acting and how his passion for acting kind of influences who he is and how he overcomes his own men's mental health struggles. So what I wanted to ask you, Aaron, is how did it feel to be interviewed and where did you find the confidence to agree to talk about such a deep topic?
If I'm honest, I really enjoyed the interview. And the platform in which you done it in, the whole studio setting and just the two of us, it was very easy and laid back, and also it's a topic of conversation that we don't really get to discuss much. So yeah, I was well up for it. Well up for it.
Nice. So I was gonna ask you as well, what was going through your head during the entire process? Because obviously it was a very dark room. Like even for me as a director, the flash is really bright. The all cameras on you. So how did that feel?
You know what? I honestly didn't mind it too much. I was really engaged in like sort of the procedure and process of what was going on. So I was more thinking about what was coming next, sort of questions or how best to answer that, or see how I could relate to whatever it was he was talking about in the time. So yeah.
Hear that. And also, did you talk about like when I interviewed you, were there things that you talked about that you would normally never say like in public or around other people?
Um. Yes, I'd definitely say yeah, and that's not necessarily because I'm shying away from it, but it's more the conversation and the questions you asked gave me a chance to kind of reflect more so than bring out something I haven't discussed before. So it was quite interesting because I had to kind of look at my current circumstance and really like think deep about how I engaged myself mentally and things like that. So yeah, a lot of what I said has been things that I hadn't said before, but it weren't out of shyness or anything like that. No.
Nice one. Also, I want to introduce Isaac as well, who I also interviewed.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Glad you're here, man. Just tell us a bit about yourself and what you do.
So I'm an actor and all-round creative from South London, and yeah.
Nice, yeah, because I remember interviewing you and you just talking about how you get through life, how like acting can be hard, but you're very optimistic. So how did it feel being interviewed and why were you so confident in talking to us?
I think just to agree with Aaron, I think you guys did a really good job of making everyone feel comfortable, and yeah, it was really laid back. And I think why it was so easy as well to speak comfortably is and the importance of what we were talking about was obviously more impetus of wanting to share.
Hear that, man. And what was going through your head during the entire process?
I don't know. For me, I mean, it was definitely very revealing in the sense that potentially questions that I haven't asked myself or been asked, but questions that I think us as men or any sex for that.
Okay, so I was also going to ask, we'll wait for Isaac to come back at some point, but I was going to also ask Erin, what was it like to talk about your feelings in front of camera? Because obviously we're men and apparently men aren't meant to express themselves in our society. So what was that like?
Again, I enjoyed it. I didn't really find a problem speaking about it, but that's probably due to the people I grew up around or my constant type of work environments. But if I'm honest, it's always kind of easier to speak to less people than more people, no matter how many people were due to see it at a later stage. Being in that environment, just like, you know, yourself, the other cameraman, the producer, and the director, it weren't many people. It was very nice, relaxed, and focused group. So it was really easy just to the whole like back and forth as a conversation sort of that was happening in between the questions made it so easy just to be real about what was going on.
Oh,
Nice, man.
oh, sorry, guys. Was I just rambling for long? I can see you now. Sorry.
Oh, no, I think something must have happened with the Wi-Fi, but that's cool. So I'm going to get back.
Sorry.
Wanted to know. Let me just look through my list of questions I put together. So did you talk about things that you would never normally talk about?
Is this for me or?
Yeah, for you, mate.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say so because I just don't think us as men shamefully would really talk about those kind of questions. Whether you're with your, you know, your homeboys or strangers, I think it's definitely quite revealing to share those things. But you know, if you're asking how did I feel afterwards, then yeah, definitely I felt better for speaking about it than to have not have spoke about it. So yeah.
Yeah, I must say I definitely agree with Isaac on that. Knowing that the conversation's happening really makes you want to be a part of it and just, you know, see how we can develop it as men. Like it's something we all know about but refuse to speak about, which is something we need to change. So taking part in a project like this is helping that change, and I'm more than happy to be part of that.
Yeah, honestly, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, we never, like I said before, get the opportunity to express ourselves because of this whole old idea that men can't have feelings, men are weak if they, let's just say they're stressed, they're sad, or even if they cry about things, you know. So I honestly understand what you guys are saying because I'm a man as well. I just wanted to also talk about, for the potential viewers out here, there's going to be a live stream happening on the 30th of April. And we're going to be having loads of different guest speakers who are very experienced and who are quite well known themselves. So I hope all of you look forward to that. But I just wanted to ask you guys a bit more. That's kind of I wanted you guys, because you're both actors and you both use acting as a way to express yourselves. Obviously, there's some hardships of being an actor, especially in such a big industry. So just talk about acting in terms of your mental health and what you've overcome so far.
Eyes, do you want to take that?
Sure. And sorry, just to confirm, Qays, is that do you mean currently in the situation or prior to Corona?
I'd say just I mean, Corona did mess up a lot of stuff. I'd say in general, if you want to talk about Corona as well, then by all means, definitely.
Yeah. So the question is, how do you cope, you know, with mental health in amongst the kind of industry of acting? Is that what you mean, or?
Yeah, and how do you use your acting as a way to, you know, build yourself up and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I think I kind of hit on this in the interview, but it's kind of, for me, acting is it's a channel. It's an outlet for me to release any emotions or feelings that I would be feeling, and I can kind of use that within a character, so to speak, or a scene where, yeah, it's just, otherwise I think what happens is if I didn't have that, I'd have all these trapped emotions that I wouldn't know where to store or release them. So I think for me, that's really important. And I'm sure it's not just like within acting. I'm sure you can do the same within music and you know, and with art. But it's just having that release physically and intellectually that you can get out. So yeah, really important. Yeah.
Yeah, going along with what Isaac said, actually, I find out no matter what I've been cast in, there's always a moment within that character, how I can draw upon something I've gone through in real life to depict exactly what's asked upon for that character. And it's trials and tribulations. You just, you let it manifest into something progressive and powerful for you to do the best you can. So there is tons of ups and downs, and it's definitely not an easy road. Especially like you said, mentioning Corona, like right now, for myself, I had 2 jobs that were upcoming that were like really big jobs, and obviously thanks to the current situation, I've had both of those opportunities disappear. And is it demotivating? It definitely is. But if you can understand your current circumstance, what you have to think about, what is it you can do when the chips are down? What is it you can do to keep yourself creative, keep yourself upbeat, knowing that a job's gone and passed you by? Like, there are elements that you have to keep engaging to make sure that you're keeping your mental okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to add on to what Aaron was saying there, I think, yeah, like definitely, I think this current situation is infecting people in all different shapes and forms. And obviously, there are going to be moments where projects that you would have had are going to get cancelled. But it's about maintaining that strength and trust in yourself that, this is an opportunity to kind of either recalibrate or just enhance the skills that you already have, and just how can you use this time effectively in doing what you love. So hopefully when this is all blown over, you're ready to hit the game strong, hit it with a bang. So it's keeping that mentality and keeping a positive mind, which is obviously not easy, but having that trust in your mind that what you love is what's is a good driving force, impetus.
Yeah, honestly, I hear that. I relate with that so much, because the thing is, yeah, we didn't really get to edit much of the documentary before the whole lockdown quarantine thing happened. So that was kind of really painful for me, especially as you guys were great interviewees. Like, it was so great to be in a situation where men were actually talking about how they feel openly, with no sense of bias, keeping them down, unfilled thoughts, just raising awareness and everything. So like right now, it's a hard situation to be away from something that you love. Me being a director who loved directing you guys, loved coming up with the ideas for the documentary, and loved that we were making something to help people. So, because you guys are obviously very well rounded and keeping optimistic, what would you say is the best advice to give to other young men to keep busy, to keep working, and to not give up during these hard times?
You know what? As cliche as it sounds, it's definitely keeping a schedule, no matter what. And it could be a schedule that doesn't have to do with anything that is part of your job. Like, you could literally keep a rough schedule to say, okay, I'm going to wake up at 8 a.m., going to have breakfast by 9, I'm going to tidy my room at this time. Just keeping a structure for yourself means that you're keeping a balance, you're keeping your mind in check. And then from there, you can manifest into doing something creative, doing something that will push your dreams. There's always something more to be done. Like, for example, today when I got up, I knew instantly I was gonna try and do something to do with music and writing. So I started listening to instrumentals as I got up and grabbed a shower. And then after that, I was like, okay, between this time and this time, after I've had breakfast, I'm gonna try and do some sort of work. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna take a break and come back to it at this time. So just keep timing yourself, man. It doesn't matter what you do, but routine is something that can create habits, and you don't want to make your job feel like it's work. You want it to be fun. You want to be able to embrace it. By starting that routine, you can make it a habit, and habits are always fun and easy.
Yeah, I kind of echo what Aaron has just said enough. I feel like in this time where, there's not that many deadlines, or, you haven't got to go to work physically, it can be very easy to just mong out and just watch Netflix and become numb and sterile. But it's about, if you want to prevent, it's about putting these practices in place so your mental health doesn't go off the wall, so to speak. But routine is very important. My quote would probably be, don't be the one that spots the problem, be the one that solves the problem.
Nice.
Yeah,
I agree with that. that's
yeah, I like that one.
Cross you, man.
Yeah, it's out there.
But yeah, definitely there's so much to just like get through right now. Many people have exams, doing dissertations, So I just wanted to ask you, lot, like, what are your once this whole quarantine thing ends, lockdown's over, we can actually go outside to the park in groups. You can go to the pub, go to nightclubs, go to motives, do normal things or whatever. What do you say are your goals for after quarantine? Because obviously a lot of people are thinking about how we rarely get this much time to relax and reflect. Like, how do you change and improve yourselves as not only men, but when it comes to your mental health?
Aaron, if you'd like to go first on this one.
To be honest, I don't have an answer as of yet. All I can say is for me, like I mentioned just like a moment ago, is as long as I can keep a routine, and I've already started like working on a plan for a couple of the projects I want to get up and running for as soon as quarantine's over. So as long as I know that I'm working towards those goals, it lets me know that I'm keeping a balance, because my mental is very much affected by what I'm trying to achieve, the goals I'm trying to reach, and all of that. And all of that is to do with my work. So as long as I keep pushing for something to do on my work side of things and creatively, it will keep my mental health in check. I keep talking to the right people. I have great friends around me, and yeah, just embracing both sides of that. But for me, I don't believe when quarantine's over, for me, that's not a time to party and celebrate that it's over. For me, that's a time to catch up on the last couple of months I've missed out, because time waits for no man. So I've got to get straight back on it. Yeah.
Yeah. As it. Yeah, Isaac, I think there may be a problem with your connection because I can't quite.
Yeah, I think we may have lost him.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Yeah, it's good what you were saying. Like, obviously, I want to party and enjoy myself when this whole thing's done. But yeah, time waits for no man. You've got to focus on your goal. We've all got projects that we definitely all want to get done after this. I mean, God knows, once I can meet up with Kitty and the other guys, we're getting this documentary done together and we're releasing because of all the work.
Course. And I do just want to say also, I'm not saying that it means work as soon as we're out of it, like, because of course you need to work hard, play hard. But I know specifically for myself, it's definitely a case of, what, I know the fun will come when it comes, like, but how I feel for myself personally, it would be quite foolish of me to go and embrace the nightlife and the free flowing culture when there's things to be done. Like right now, I'm no better off than when I started this year. So for me, I need to catch up. I need to get to the point where I was just about to be doing these two major projects again. I need to make sure that as long as I've got that stuff grounded again, yeah, I can go out and enjoy myself and whatnot, but I still need to achieve what I need to achieve. So like definitely work hard, but do what's best for yourself. If you could take this time right now to get a better understanding of yourself, understand what that balance is and how to tweak it. Like for myself, I know that I love to work hard and push myself as much as possible. So I know that for me, that sacrifice of having fun when this is over, for me, that's not a negative. That is me just having that drive to work hard, because I love being creative and it's also my job. So that's what I'm going to be doing.
I love that, bro. I love that you said that. That's really great. So yeah, just like kind of thinking about being young people in London, all like working hard or being creative and stuff. How do you feel that affects your mental health? I mean, obviously we barely see anyone now because of the quarantine and the whole lockdown, but before that, was there any kind of pressures or like kind of stigmas or like ideas that you felt you had to fit into?
You know what? I think it's there's definitely a type of mindset, and I'd have to speak for myself, but I would say when it comes to Londoners as well, sometimes you forget how much of a rat race this city is. Because especially when you don't expect things like Corona to happen, you already know that, like, for example, you lot at university, you already know that come June, July, you're going to be finished and graduating, then you're going to go into your job. Like, without really thinking about it, you know that that's the plan. You know that in your subconscious, that is the line that your life's taking. And when Corona hit, I think it really made people suffer with their mental health. Like those who realize that, this is their last year of uni, they're no longer gonna be in class around other people. They're not even getting to enjoy their graduation. They're not really going to get a summer. Like, and also there's the pressure that they already had of trying to get that perfect job when they finish uni itself. Having to go through all of that when you don't have like-minded people around you anymore, it must be immense. And that's something I definitely want everyone now to really take in, is like, yeah, there's a lot of stresses and a lot of elderly people and whatnot struggling, but please don't forget the youngers that are tossing and turning over their GCSE results, their A-level results, and their potential uni graduation. Like, this has rocked so many people's worlds, and we very much need to be mindful of it, because like, it's not easy for me, but I can't imagine what it would be like someone that's like waited X amount of years to finish something and had it blow up in their face. It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's a testament to the younger lot about keeping their mindset calm and doing things like online courses, or just everything to keep themselves stable.
I hear that, man. Isaac, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, sorry, mate. Could you just repeat the question? Just missed it a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah, just kind of like living in a city and everything. Before lockdown, did you feel you were pressured by any ideas or stigmas, or like how you had to be who you are and everything?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to dig too deep into my conspiracy theories, but I've definitely noticed a kind of a wide shift of paranoia from some people, in terms of people not really wanting to talk. It's very much like, oh, who's not wearing a mask? Or like, for example, you go to a supermarket and everyone's like, 3 meters away from each other, and if you slightly touch them, everyone's like on edge all the time. And I think, yeah, within and amongst this time where a lot of shit is happening, I think we also need to remain human and remain the importance of community and talking to one another, because lockdown could mean, in blatant terms, like self-isolation, don't talk to anybody, which obviously if you're ill, yeah, that is the case, but don't stop speaking to one another, because
Yeah, I
we can't, like, we need to stay together, and I think
honestly,
collaboration and community is when we're at our strongest as human species. So yeah.
Most definitely, man, definitely. Yeah, just kind of thinking about how isolated we all are, and it's so ironic because when I was making the documentary for Mind Over Matter, a lot of our shots were around London, the city, just like King's Cross, Central London, Southeast, and all. I made it so specific that the shots were when. That's why we shot so early in the morning, because we were kind of aiming for an isolated feel that would kind of reflect how young men often feel. Like, that's the thing. You're sometimes in such a big city and everything that you end up feeling like you're alone and isolated. So do you guys feel that after this whole lockdown's over, that you're gonna be more sociable as men when like it's all?
I mean, that's a really good question. I mean, I've been doing quite a few Zoom calls, and even that, like, even though you think that being in your own home, you feel more comfortable, actually, I feel a little bit more, more awkward and not being allowed to be myself. So I don't know how I'm gonna act after quarantine, but one thing is that I'm sure, and this links to another question earlier, is that the first thing I want to do after this is just have a hug with someone. And that hug's going to be like at least a minute long. I'm not going to lie. Like, whether it's my homies or my sisters, like, it's going to be a big hug. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely hear that, man. Yeah, quarantine can send the mind nuts, man. It's crazy. I think for myself, it's definitely, I've made sure that I'm regularly talking to people regularly. Like, and you know what I've noticed, for me, I found that there's a difference between texting someone and video calling someone. There's a mad difference, and it really does help. And one thing I have seen about myself that I'm quite thankful for is actually pushing me to indulge in these projects. So I've been having like group meetings for a project that I'm going to be starting when quarantine's over, and it's like, to see how that's been developing over the last couple of weeks is like, it's testimony to those around me, how much like they keep everyone on the balance and make sure that everyone's good, because everyone else is on doing things like this just to make sure that everyone's on the same level, everyone's doing okay mentally, and just checking in, man. So yeah.
Man, I like what you said about hugging people when you're gonna see them, and Yeah, yeah, good stuff, guys. Actually, we have a question right here in the live comments from Lewis Hill. So Lewis is asking, how do you guys get yourselves out of creative ruts? Because obviously, what Lewis would do before this whole lockdown happened is he would socialize with creative people and they try to jumpstart his creativity. It's a lot difficult now, but how would you have done it back in the day?
Eyes, do you want to take this one first?
Okay, so what during if it wasn't lockdown, how would you keep your mind flowing of creative juices?
Well, just get yourself out of kind of like, a creative I'm trying to look for the right word when you're kind of stuck and you don't know how
like you're blocked, you're creative blocked.
Creative block, that's the word.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I mean whether you're a writer, designer, artist, whatever, sometimes the best ideas just come out of the blue and that, like, you can't help it. It's there. You can't force it. But I would say just challenge themselves to, I don't know, do free writing or go for a run to kind of clear the mind. Sometimes don't overthink about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the simplest ideas are usually the best. But us as perfectionists, we always want to find the most extraordinary idea. But yeah, keep it simple and it will come eventually. You just gotta just keep on experimenting. Take a gamble, take a risk.
Yeah. And following on from Isaac's point, never second guess yourself. Never second guess yourself. So even though you say you're potentially in a creative rut, I can guarantee, even though you're having this rut, you thought of a few ideas already. You just didn't think you just didn't think the idea had legs. Now, the only way you will know that an idea doesn't have legs is if you flesh it out. If you put it down on paper and just try and go with it. Like, it doesn't matter if you think it's bad or if you think it's amazing. Like, you're always going to be your worst critic. So you need to just go out there and hammer it out. In terms of trying to get into a creative space, for me, it's music and just taking in my surroundings, very much taking in my surroundings. I think something I love to do is, it's gonna sound hella weird, but I like to people watch. Honestly, I like to people watch, man, because no two people are the same, and it could be something as simple as walking through your park, like what I've been doing in quarantine, walking through your park. Like, so many people's body languages can give such enhancement to a random character you've just thought of there and then. Run it back and just write that down on a page, man. So for me, I would say, people watching, music, mind mapping, and bullet points, and just see where it goes. Honestly, it could be 3 lines, it could be a whole novel, but the fact is that when you put it down on paper, that is the starting of a project, no matter what it is.
You reap what you sow. So what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
No, that's perfect. Honestly, yeah, I rate that so much. Yeah, it was great talking to you guys because during the interview, I could tell that you're very well rounded. And once we release what you told us and your stories and kind of how you were expressing yourselves during our interviews, other men to see it. I know for a fact they'll definitely learn from it.
It's been a pleasure to be part of such an important subject matter and conversation. And I hope that it doesn't just, it doesn't stop from here. I hope this is the building blocks to something bigger and bigger. And I hope that it doesn't need to come to just an interview for us men to talk about such topics. I hope to, talk to my people about this and hopefully we can, break down these barriers that were, that we've conditioned to kind of not think of
continuing on with what Isaac said, thank you so much for involving us in the project, and not only that, but thank you for making this project, because men and mental health, we need to talk about it more, we need to do more, and that can only start by having a platform to do it on. And so you lot are pioneering this, so congratulations and thank you.
More power to both you guys. Still, I'm your host, Qays Nsanja, the director of the Mind Over Matter documentary. This has been a Q&A, and for everyone watching, thank you so much. All the best.
See ya.
Stay safe.